What's going on, everyone? Yes, there's another retro toy review, and yes, the EVA that stands in front of you is EVA 01, piloted by Shinji Ikari, which is the main character of the epic manga / anime Evangelion. Now, this particular version of the EVA unit is from 1.11. Now, if you haven't seen the new series, definitely give it a check out. Now, I will say the very first two movies are amazing and slight changes, but they're close to the originals. The third movie that came out sucked so fucking bad, didn't even make it to the States yet, even when they said it was going to come to the States. It is out already, but just not over here. It's pretty fucking terrible. But beyond all that, let's go ahead and jump into this figure and see what this EVA unit has to offer, or maybe not so much. And let's see how time held up on this particular figure. This figure here is made by Bandai Robot Spirits line. So, let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and look at details of this EVA unit. And I will say, I own the Metacom version. I even owned a Shigoken version, which I loved it so much, I actually just repurchased it because I was pretty pissed that I sold it, but I had the actual working neck version. So this time around I was able to get the one with the proper neck joint for a lot cheaper than what it was going for before, like $100 difference. So definitely happy to have him in the collection, or will be having him in the collection. And I have this particular version. Now I will say, out of the small toy line, this is my opinion, you may hate me for it, I don't really care, because I'm just being brutally honest. This has to be by far one of the best small version EVA units that you can pick up. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'll also explain why it is so nice. A lot of people went with the Revoltech versions. The very first release of Revoltech versions don't look that great in my personal opinion. The face scopes look like shit. Plus, I really hate their joints. Revoltech versions are really known for keeping really great poses, really nice in that aspect. But the problem with Revoltech versions, they have the tendency to have really shitty leg joints. And what I mean by that is that most of the time, either the actual ratchet joint has been put together at a very weird angle where it allows the joint to pretty much play priority on where the foot will be set. So a lot of times you have to lean your character forward or backwards to actually get him to stand up properly, or bend the legs, which is fucking annoying. Or you have to take the actual hip joint off to even remove the leg to make it go a different direction. And this is why I hate Revoltech figures. But beyond all that, this particular figure here actually gives you the capability of getting all them great poses that a Revoltech figure will do with a actual seamless movement. You don't have to deal with worrying about taking something off just to get it right. And I will be going over that very much. But beyond all that, that is your full 360 of the character, showing the details. I'm going to go ahead and push him back a bit so I can show you height difference. Let's go ahead and bring this back. So, next to good old Guts, he actually stands pretty much the same height as Guts. So, there you go for right there, further as height. Now, as for accessories, this little figure packs a punch. It comes with quite a bit. Now, I will say though, on this particular figure, the accessories are really nice off the back. His weaponry, it's kind of lightweight. So, right off the jump, you're going to get pretty much doubles of everything in the fashion. So the first double that you'll get, which is I actually very nicely scoped it, you get the progressive knife. You get 2 of these. So you're going to have him dual wielding if you like. Even though in the anime he really only just used one-handed tactics and never really was two-handed like what's her name? Asuka. So, but they do give him 2. So that's pretty cool. So you get 2 of those. You're going to get 2 pallet rifles, which is really nicely detailed. Nice and sleek. It looks really good, no paint chipping. And I had this figure for quite some time now, and I can honestly say I still love it as if I just bought it. It really held up well. Now, the other accessory you're gonna get will be a Berserk face. Okay, it's already set with the mouth open, which is really nice because you didn't have to worry about the jaw falling off or things of that nature. Because on the Shogoken version, it actually has a movable jaw, and a few of the newer releases actually have a removable jaw or a jaw that can open and close. The downside to that feature sometimes, if it's not engineered right, you may have a problem such as I had on my Shogoken one I had, even though it didn't fall off, but it definitely was a pain in the ass where it connected to the head. It was very, very weak. It was a bad hole. The hole there wasn't actually dug deep enough into the plastic, so the actual joint on the jaw just wouldn't snap in place. And if you move the face around the wrong way, his bottom jaw will come off. So this was actually pretty nice for the fact that you have one solid piece. Now on the Metacom version, they give you the ability to open up the mouth and close it, but they engineered it a lot smarter. Also, with this particular version EVA unit, they played a very huge part in the design of the big Metacom ones. And I'll go over that as well as I go through the figure, but this is nicely done. Also, you're going to get a total of 4 horns. They all are detachable from the forehead. You can take it off on the main head, you can take it off on this head. They're going to give you 2 rubber versions and 2 plastic ones. So you can actually have a more sleeker look if you put the plastic ones in. I normally keep the plastic ones out just because if you tip over or anything of that nature, you don't gotta worry about damaging the horn itself. So you're gonna get that. You're gonna get, oh, and best believe, I researched. I literally just sat in the mirror, repeated this shit over and over again so I can make all them pissed off people happy. I finally got the name correct this time around. You get a fucking gas pump. Yes, you get a gas pump. Truly an amazing accessory. When your EVA goes out of fucking gas, you just plug this bitch up and there you go. Gas pump, refill, no fucking amount of money you gotta drop, you're good to go. Yes, this is an umbilical cable. God damn it, an umbilical cable. And anybody know what I'm talking about, you're probably cracking the fuck up laughing for the shit I had to deal with. But beyond all that, yes, you get an umbilical cable. The umbilical cable is actually a wire cable that you can actually move in any direction you want. So you can maneuver this the way you like it. As for attaching it to the EVA unit, it's pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and bend this back. And we're going to plug this in, his back here. And it holds very snug. Don't got to worry about nothing. So this is really nice. So you're going to get that. It's pretty long too, if you notice. On the Metacom version, they have one, but it's actual rubber hose. That's the only difference. So the whole posable version, it's cool. Nothing major, but you do get it. And last but not least, you get a shit ton of hands with this EVA unit. So you're going to get kind of like the relaxed, sprawled out hand, like the default hands. So you're going to get that, which is sculpted very, very nice. You're going to get like under the barrel hand, or you can actually use this to hold the gun, either or. You get another gun hand with a tighter grip on it, which is also sculpted very nice, nice and clean paint apps. You're going to go ahead and get, or that hand that I just showed, you can also put his knife in. I think it's set for his knife, but it can be used on his gun as well. You're going to get kind of like these violent rip apart hands, which I will show you what these are for. And then you get the really, really sprawled out fingers. This is for that one particular pose that was in the anime where Shinji and the others were actually in a kind of like get ready, set, go, run pose. So you can actually have the EVA unit do that exact pose from the anime, which is really nice. So you're going to get that. And the very last accessory, which is what I was speaking about, besides this right here, let me focus real quick. I'm gonna come back a bit so I can show you. This right here is actually a stand for your AT field. These little weird cuts that you see, these are where them hands go. They fit perfectly into the groove of the actual cuts. This is meant for the scene where you first see the robot in action and it tears apart an Angel AT field. So you get that. And this is really, really nice. This is actually really, really clean and everything else. And it's pretty big. I'll come back a bit so you can actually see the size. It's pretty nice size. Actually about the size of the EVA unit itself. So that is all of the accessories that you get with EVA Unit 1. I'll go ahead and zoom back up real quick. Now, as for articulation, this figure is phenomenal, period. When I say this figure, posability is crazy, I do mean it is so well put together. So, the head is on a ball joint. Now, that ball joint is connected to a hinge. One note before I continue to go down. The problem is the head that's connected to the ball joint, the default head, really, really easy to put on. The Berserk head is a true pain in the ass. So if you happen to have this figure, or in this case, you'll probably already know if you have it already. If you don't have this figure, trust me when I say this, you might want to heat up the joint before actually trying to change out the head. The head is a pain in the ass. Like, it's just really, really hard, and the joint has a tendency to kind of move around while you're trying to put the head onto the ball joint, so you don't want to break it. So I would say actually heat it up first before trying to apply that head onto the joint. As for going, now the range you get with just this joint alone, you look about that far up, which is really nice. You look about that far down. Now adding the neck joint in the actual mix, you get a really nice range. So now you can actually look about that far down, and then you can really look up. Really nicely done. Okay, now going down to the shoulders, his shoulder fins are on separate ball joints away from the arm. This is really, really smart. Now, this is what I mean by the fact of Medicom used the smart approach. They took pretty much directly from this figure itself and just utilize all the smart decisions, which I think toy companies should do. If you're gonna steal from another company, which is perfectly fine, because I mean everyone does it, at least take the good parts and then make sense of it. Don't sit there and try to take a particular style and then just botch it. So this was really, really smart that they did that. Now, going to the arm itself is on a ball joint going into the chest, which is also connected to I believe a ball joint as well going to the arm, which is connected to a hinge. Now, you can do this far going directly out, which is really nice. You can do a full 360. It does have enough space between the arm to do it, so you can pull that off. You also have the capability of swiveling the arm right above the bicep itself. Coming down to the elbow, you can either swivel it above the elbow or below it, but you get a single hinge, which is about that much of a bend. Coming down to the wrist, you get about that much. So you can actually have them like looking down the street or something. But you get that. Go about that far back and do a full rotation as well on the wrist. You can either rotate it on the joint itself or turn the whole peg joint all together to do a rotate. Now, coming to the midsection, these parts are amazing, but this is the only downer to this figure. Because over time, and I mean a short period of time, it actually happened roughly after I got them, they don't hold tight well over time. This particular joint just can't take the weight over the time. But you have two sections that's fully articulated, which I mean, they've been really nice. So dealing with a lean to the side, you get about that much. Lean to the other side, you get about that much. Going back, you get about that much. Nice bend. Going forward, you get a huge range. This is also like the Metacom figure, if you notice. Has the 3 joints, definitely has a real nice bend on it. Works really, really well. But if you notice how loose it gets. So that's my only downer dealing with this particular figure from this toy line. The joint get pretty weak at the waist itself. You can also do rotation. You can probably do a full 360 if you wanted to. You just want to be careful because you don't want to chip no paint. Now, going down to the legs. The legs are a very weird setup, but they work great. So as for going outwards, get about that far, which is damn near the splits, so that works. You're going to also get a swivel going forward. Nice kick there. Going back. Nice kick there. And when I say you can actually go pretty far, you can actually kick the leg all the way up if you really want to. Damn near to the head itself. So, really nice range. Now, further as posing it, it's not a problem. I mean, everything works together really, really good. Going down to the knee, double joint, practically touches the other leg. Really nice bend. Then, coming down to the ankle, his ankle guard is on a ball joint, separate. And these can come off. They don't come off easy, but they can come off. That gives you the ability to bend the foot that far up, this far back, and you have a really nice pivot. Really nice poses, and then you get a toe joint. Nice. All right, so that is all of the articulation dealing with this figure. So, once again, I'm going to say it over from the first time I said it. Do I think this figure is amazing? Absolutely. Should you pick him up? If he's not too expensive, yes. For some odd reason, this figure shot up in cost right around the movie popped up. And I'm talking about not necessarily like a small jump. That shit went astronomically high. It went from being, I think, a $46 figure to being like, I think, 120, 140, and then it dropped back down to about 60 bucks. So depending on where you look, you can find it for a good price, or you may find it for a really shitty price. If you happen to go looking for this figure, look around. I know Amazon may have them. Believe it or not, Newegg, the fucking computer place that sells electronics, yes, they sell toys. They actually have EVA units on there, and they was actually, this is where I got mine from. Now that I think about it, but they do have him on there, or her, because the EVA unit is a chick. But beyond all that, you get some really good prices if you check around. So before paying a ridiculous cost, make sure to search first, because you don't want to screw yourself and pay some price that's just outrageous and then find the figure 4 days later and the shit cheap. That'll probably make you go ballistic. So beyond all that, hope you enjoyed this retro review. Hope I didn't piss nobody off by calling the umbilical cable a gas pump. If so, I'm probably going to see some fucking comment down there, or someone's going to do it just because, which it's okay. I'm used to it. But beyond all that, hope you enjoyed yourself. And please continue to check out more toy reviews from me. I will have more coming up. Have quite a bit of stuff to review. I will review the Shogoken one when it comes in, so that will be another retro review, because I don't think I ever really reviewed that figure, and that figure is pretty damn amazing. This should get reviewed. So, beyond all that, take care and continue collecting shits.